What's good, y'all? Marion Gates, also known as Phenomenon. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, hit that notification bell, comment, like, and if you really enjoy my content, share it. So, you seen the title, the NBA is dead. The viewership shows it. And there's several things that I think is killing the NBA. Several. The dudes that be all up in my comment section, y'all not watching because look at the ratings. I can tell by how you speak. You're not a basketball purist. You're not a basketball fan. You don't know the history of the game. You don't know the importance. You don't know. See, LeBron James, y'all tell us he's greater than Michael Jordan. Yet he has the lowest ranked, least watched finals in NBA history. The 2020 finals are the least watched. A dude that y'all saying better than Michael Jordan, but Michael Jordan was able to get the number one, the most viewed finals in NBA history. So if basketball is supposed to be better than it's ever been, it's supposed to be the most competitive, the most skilled, all these hyperbole and propaganda that they putting out there, why people aren't watching it? Shouldn't it be more entertainment if it's more skilled? If these dudes is doing moves we've never seen before and dunks we've never seen before and all these different things, why people aren't watching? It doesn't make sense. If this is the greatest player, because the NFL ain't been hurt. The NFL is not hurt at all. So you can't use, oh, well, it's social media and this, that, and the third. People too busy watching social media. If it's that great of a product, people are going to watch it. They're going to put down social media to go catch these games. There was plenty to do in the 90s. Without social media, there was plenty of stuff to do. You can go to a park with your family. There's plenty of movies to go out and watch, TV shows to watch. It was a lot of stuff in the 90s you could have been doing, listening to music, listening to hip hop. New albums was dropping. It was plenty of stuff going on. So you can't use the social media excuse. People are just not interested in that. They're interested in the drama. I can tell by the comments you make, you guys are interested in trying to be a part of the trend. Y'all want to jump on the LeBron James bandwagon because that's the name, just like you were on the Kobe Bryant bandwagon. Because these same jokers, when Kobe was on top, they was trying to say he was better than Jordan. It was a lot of people, the same amount of people we see with LeBron. These same people was on that Kobe bandwagon. When Kobe fell off, or he got that Achilles rupture, and he wasn't winning anymore, then they changed their tune and they jumped on the LeBron James bandwagon. You are disingenuous fans. Somebody said, so somebody just can't be a fan of LeBron. You can be. I never said that. But I know a lot of you dudes is fake. I know this because I've seen some of the same commenters that would riding Kobe turn and act like they never was riding Kobe. And now all of a sudden they all in on LeBron and Kobe done fell all the way down their list. They don't even have Kobe number 3. It would make sense if they say, well, you know, LeBron to me is better than Kobe. Or have Kobe number 2. If Kobe was number 1 and you say he was better than Jordan and you drop Jordan to number 2 and then you felt like LeBron is the best, then Kobe should be number 2 on your list of number 3. These dudes say Kobe is overrated now. Some of these same jokers. So even though I wasn't doing YouTube, I was in the comment sections. I was watching the basketball videos. I was watching the games. I was doing all of that. So I know what was going on in the basketball community. Some of these same analysts that was on Kobe's train has dropped Kobe all the way down to like number 9 on their list. It's the same type of mentality. It's the same folks. This is not nothing I'm making up. I pulled up the receipts. I have a whole Kobe tribute video that shows analysts and people saying that Kobe was number 2 behind Jordan. The majority, the people that had LeBron number 2 had Kobe number 2. And now Kobe is all the way down there. It doesn't make any sense. He didn't drop to number 3. It would have made sense if he dropped to number 3, but they have this man all the way down at number 9 and stuff. He's still top 10, but they have dropped him significantly. And guess who? The mindless fanboys did the same thing. Now LeBron is that guy, and when LeBron leaves the league, or if he falls off this season, or whatever happens, they're gonna be the same people that's gonna jump on the next guy, whether it be Nikola Jokic or whoever the next guy the media becomes enamored with. They're gonna jump on that bandwagon. They're not real basketball fans. That's what I mean, and that's hurting the league. You can have casuals, but the stuff that they're using to draw the casuals in is not working. First of all, y'all involve politics. That also hurt LeBron. Being this political figure and acting like you was so outspoken until China came up. Now all of a sudden you're not outspoken. That also hurt the brand of the league. We saw the disingenuousness. We saw the fakeness and all of that. So when you see that, people start to get turned off. You don't want to involve politics in sports. People's political views are something that you keep to yourself. They say don't talk about religion and politics because that divides people. So when you're putting that in the sport, it's hurting the basketball ratings. The basketball ratings are now going down. Then you got guys always making excuses for not playing. So if you're not playing, think about what they did. What was the winning formula back then? If it wasn't broke, why try to fix it? The winning formula back then that really drew people in was you had this guy named Michael Jordan that was playing every time he could play. He played all 82 games, the majority of his career. If he could play, he was playing. Unless he was really hurt. When he broke his foot, the only years that he didn't play, the most amount of games he could possibly play was when he was legitimately injured. When he broke his foot, and then he didn't play. And when he didn't play that full season, and he came back from baseball. That was another season. The Wizards season, he got hurt, and then the other 3 seasons, he played 78, 80, and like 81. So he still played the way more games than guys nowadays. You've never seen him just play like 60 games and he's fully healthy. He's just resting. You didn't see that. The competitiveness of them, the competitive balance. As much as they want to say, oh, the league was watered down. And most of that came from hating ass basketball players that were jealous of Jordan at that time anyway. And the fanboys, they jump on that. They just using that, but they don't really know what they talking about because they didn't live through that time. They didn't. It was a lot of dynamic duos. Kind of like it is now. It wasn't a team of a whole bunch of superstars. Like even in the 80s, no team, no era can say that they competed against a team like the Celtics. We don't boost Wilt Chamberlain because he faced the Celtics. They had 8 Hall of Famers on there. LeBron James has never faced a Boston Celtics team like what Wilt had to go through. So if you want to talk about competition, if that's your measuring stick, then you need to throw Wilt's name in the hat, and Wilt beats LeBron on that frontier. If we're just going to talk about straight competition and who you had to play against, let's go ahead and list the list of Hall of Famers that Wilt Chamberlain had to go through, and Oscar Robertson had to go through, and Jerry West had to go through. Go list the name of Hall of Famers that these guys had to face when they were facing that Boston Celtics team. Jerry West has a lot of losses in the finals. Why is he not the greatest of all time? Because of his competition. Why don't we use that excuse for him? You only use it for LeBron. That's another thing that's hurting the league. You disrespect the legends and what they accomplished. Michael Jordan faced great competition for the time, and it was balanced based on how everybody had a dynamic partner. That's who it was. We don't look at Dennis Rodman as a superstar. He was a great role player. He got a lot of rebounds. He played defense. He was a role player when he played on the Pistons. Unless you want to say he was a superstar on the Pistons and Jordan beat him then. How many Hall of Famers did he have to face when he went against the Pistons? Joe Dumars. Bill Laimbeer should really be in there. Mark Aguirre definitely should be in the Hall of Fame. Isaiah Thomas, Dennis Rodman. 5 of them guys. And they swept them. And they were the defending champions. And you can't say, well, they only beat them because they were old. They took them 7 games the year before, the same way that the Boston Celtics. Let's look at the story, because you guys don't know basketball history. Let me give you a little basketball history lesson. Back in the 80s, there were several teams that were competing. We knew the two up and coming teams in the East were the Bulls and the Pistons. And some people said the Cavaliers. Those are the teams that were ascending to that championship status. The Bulls were the most successful. Michael Jordan became the most successful. But he came and competed against all those great teams that you claim that he didn't compete against. He competed against the Boston Celtics. All those teams helped him get better. And it wasn't like he was putting up bomb numbers. He wasn't putting up 10 points per game when he faced those great teams. He dropped 63 on a team that was full of Hall of Famers. He didn't play garbage. So don't act like, oh, they changed the rules and that's the only reason why he overcame. He was cooking y'all when they had the rules in place. What are you talking about, Isaiah Thomas? Let me give you this history lesson. We talking about the NBA is dead. Let me tell you how competitive the league was and why Michael Jordan was considered the greatest. He came up in the 80s against these great teams, the Celtics, the Pistons, the Lakers. He competed against all these dudes and he wasn't playing garbage even before they changed the rules. It will be an argument if all of a sudden he was just an average player or he was just a good player. And then they changed the rules for him and he became this unstoppable force. No, his teams got better. It's a team game. His team got better. His team was on the ascension. Even during that time, just like the Pistons. When the Lakers were the dynasty, the Celtics were the dynasty. The Celtics whooped the Pistons the year before in 1987. 1988, they come back, sweep the Celtics, and then they take the Lakers 7 games. Then the next year, they sweep the Lakers. Guess what happened to them? The same exact thing. The Bulls were on the come up. Every year they were getting better. First, they faced them in the second round. Then in 89, they go to the Eastern Conference Finals. So in 88, they got beat by them in the second round. They gave them the most trouble. Then in the next year, when they was dominating, they still took them 6 games. Then in 1990, they took them 7 games. Keep in mind, this is the same exact thing that the Pistons did to the Lakers. Even with Kareem, they took them 7 games. So you really don't think the Bulls could have beat, if Kareem decided to stay on that team, the Bulls still would have beat them. They would have beat them. The Pistons took them 7 games. Even with Kareem, even when they were healthy, even though the Lakers won, the Pistons took them 7 games. That's the same thing the Bulls did to the Pistons. With all that talent they had, the Bulls took them 7 games, and then the next year, they swept them. Just like they swept the Lakers the next year. You can say injuries or whatever, but you still give them credit. We still give the Pistons credit for winning. That discussion. I'm just giving you context to what the NBA is, because you guys try to belittle what Michael Jordan accomplished and how popular he made the league. He beat those great teams. He beat the team. Isaiah Thomas, his claim to fame is that he beat Magic, he beat Jordan, he beat Bird. Well, Jordan beat the guy that beat him, beat Bird, and beat Magic. He beat him. He swept him. He took him 7 games a year before, so it wasn't like it was impossible. Were they old that year too? They took them 7 games. It wasn't like the Bulls got swept the year before and then the next year they changed the rules and then they swept them. So that's a whole lie and myth. So Jordan faced great teams to get to that level. Then he became the great team. We don't take no credit from Magic Johnson for being on a great team. You don't take no credit from LeBron James for being on great teams. You don't take no credit for Bill Russell for being on great teams. You don't take no credit from Wilt Chamberlain for being on great teams. We never did this before in any sport. So this man was dominant. He was the team you had to beat, and no one beat him. When he was at the peak of his game, when he played a full season, no one beat him. In that time period, from 1991 to 1998, when he retired and when he didn't play the full season and came back out of retirement, which means you got to get back in basketball shape. You guys would understand that because you always got an excuse for LeBron. So use that same brain power that you use for LeBron to understand the story of Jordan. Then he went and he three-peated again against other great teams. He just had the best team. He was the best player on the best team. We're not going to say Larry Bird wasn't that great because look at who he got to play with. No, we don't do that. We've never done that. You can throw, you guys, I had a dude in the comment section argue with me saying, well, if you can't just throw stars on a team and win. Okay, so if you understand that and you comprehend this in your brain, when it comes to LeBron James, then you should be able to comprehend that with every other great player. I can comprehend that with LeBron. I'm not mad at him for having great teams, but you came up short more times than you won. And the ones you did, it took you 7 games. You won the years that you did win in convincing fashion was when it was a strike-shortened season and then 2020 in that bubble. Those are the only 2 years that you were actually dominant over your competition. And no one says, oh, even though 2020, y'all try to make it like it's the hardest championship, you didn't face any top 75 player in the finals. Yet no one takes that away from you. You fanboys don't anyway. So this is the thing that I'm saying. That's what Jordan did. He played in an excellent era of basketball. It wasn't this watered down weak era that they trying to make it. These guys are weak. You guys from the 80s was in a weak era. No, you just made that up. You just made it up. There were scrubs, just like they're scrubs today. If Bronny James can make it in the league today, then it ain't that much more skilled. If Bronny James can get drafted, and you guys say he deserved it, then don't tell me this is the most skilled league, because we still got scrubs getting drafted in the league. We saw Anthony Bennett get drafted. He was a scrub. He made it in the league, though. Stop acting like the league just all of a sudden we only draft the best of the best and every guy is guaranteed to be what they say they are, because that's not true. Every era gonna have some weak sauce players. Every era gonna have some weak sauce teams. It is what it is. That is a cop-out. And in your argument for him being the best has not helped your league not one bit. It hasn't. That's when basketball was great because it was competitive. There was a lot of dynamic duos. No one was complaining. This watered down product, everybody wanted it. This so-called watered down product, everybody wanted to tune in to watch it. I wonder why. Yet the most concentrated and most competitive and most entertaining players to ever walk the face of this earth are playing right now, and no one wants to see it. It doesn't make sense. The NBA is dead. These guys don't want to play. These guys are trying to get the games decreased. They care more about their podcasts. They care more about their name and their brand and their image. That's what they care about. There is no dynasty right now. See, the football, we have the Chiefs. We had the Patriots. We had actual dynastic teams. You knew the teams, you know the players, you love the brand. It is competitive. They know how to promote their league and they know how to get rid of their cancers. When a guy is causing this and try to bring this political stuff in there, when Colin Kaepernick did that knee thing, the hairpin got rid of him. It was a reason for that. And it saved their ratings because it was hurting their ratings when you bring politics, which is a divisionary topic, into a sport. Don't nobody want to hear about abortion and all this other stuff during sports. We want to hear that on CNN. If we want to hear about that and political things, we'll watch CNN and Fox News and MSNBC and all that other stuff. That's what we watch that for. We don't want to see that in sports. We don't. We don't care about your political views. I don't give a dang about that. People act like they do. Michael Jordan, he didn't stand up for this, and he didn't do this, and he didn't do that, and yet the ratings were through the roof because people don't give a dang. They act like that. You do a lot of people do what you call, there's a word for it. They try to make you believe. The word escaped me. But that's what they try to do. They try to get you to believe that they believe something that they don't. Virtue signal. That's what it's called. They like to virtue signal. That's what they do. Oh my goodness. Women, why are not people watching the WNBA? And meanwhile, they biscuit head self ain't watching the WNBA either. They don't know not nan player. They don't know not nan player. They can't tell you. They still think the Detroit Shock play. But they go sit there and try to tell you this, that, and the third. That's what a lot of these NBA players do. They do what they got to do for the NBA. They represent the NBA, so they say the company line. All of them, none of them are Republicans. All of them are, you know, for the A, B, C, D, E, F, G crew. They all for this and that and the third. And I'm not saying that I'm against it, but that does not belong. Your political views, you virtual signaling and acting like you have all the answers and you are the moral compass for everybody does not help your brand. Maybe your individual brand, but that's not what helps the NBA. And guys are concerned about their individual brands. Even if they don't believe it. It might be some takes that's going to probably leak of these players saying the exact opposite of what they be saying in front of the camera. That's what a lot of people do. That's how they get exposed. That's how Diddy got exposed. Diddy up here is giving the schools and all this other stuff and giving inspirational speeches. You know, I was just a young kid from the hood and it was hard for me. Same thing we hear LeBron saying. Just a young kid from the hood and it had it hard and for me to come up and I believe it's my goal in life and my purpose in life to help black folks. All these guys that y'all be thinking care so much about the black community be spitting in your faces, mistreating the women, doing the very opposite thing of what they claim they care about. You guys are just so dense. You don't even see it. It's just so funny to me how you guys sit there and defend these people like you know them personally. You defend them to the ends of the earth. You disrespect regular black folks on a daily basis. Other great black people, they have done stuff for the community as well. They just don't put it out there on Front Street and try to make up this false image. Yet the very people y'all defend, you end up with egg on your face. Oh, Bill Cosby, he could have done it. You see, what you do is the black people need to pull up their pants and do this, that, and third. He was giving the schools and all that. And meanwhile, he was doing it. You know what he was doing. R. Kelly making whole gospel albums. Gospel songs. And what was he doing? The complete opposite. A lot of these dudes care about their individual brand. They care about themselves. They don't have the love for the game. They love the fame. That's what the whole series is going to be about. That's what they care about. They care about fame. LeBron James cares about the brand of being the GOAT. He's not out there on the basketball court because he already said he ain't got nothing left to prove. So he's not on their basketball court trying to show you why he's the greatest. He is talking about it. He has to tell you time and time again. Why don't you just show us? It's like a man that says he loves you, or a woman that says she loves you. She tells you she loves you every single day, every single time you see her, instead of actually proving it. You could tell somebody love you by their actions. You could tell if somebody's the greatest by their actions too. You could tell if somebody is the best of the best by what they actually go out there and do. Actions speak louder than words. And his actions have not shown us he's the best. And the ratings say the same thing. You cannot convince me that this guy that everybody's telling me better than Jordan, but he can't beat him in the ratings. He can't beat him in the ratings. That's just so crazy to me. I've said this before in another video, but I've never seen this happen. The best ever, but no one wants to watch him. When Floyd Mayweather was saying it, everybody was watching him. Floyd Mayweather backed it up with his actions. People wanted to see him lose. That's what happens with great dynasties and great players. When you're that great, People either want to see you keep dominating or they want to see you somebody finally knock you off that pedestal. That's what dynasties do. That's what's good for the sport. So if he was really this dynasty, he is the dynasty, then everybody will want to see him fall. They will want to see people beat him. But we've seen people beat him for the past few years. We've seen him get defeated in the first round just last year. We saw it. We saw him miss the playoffs twice since being with the Lakers. In his first 2 years in the league. We've seen him. We've seen him get crushed. We've seen him get crushed in the finals. This so-called dynasty, we watched him get swept twice in the finals. Gentlemen swept twice in the finals. We've seen it with our own eyes. We watched it. We witnessed it. We bear witness to the Spurs sweeping them. Then we bear witness to the Golden State Warriors sweeping them. And then the year before that, they gentlemen swept them. We watched this happen. We watched him blow 2-1 leads. We watched Dirk Nowitzki cook him and Jason Terry and all them cook this so-called dynasty. There was never a time when he was so dominant that it pissed you off. No, it the exact opposite. It pisses us off because he loses and yet y'all still try to convince us this is a dynasty. He is the dynasty. He is the best ever. If we were true haters, you guys would have a great point if this man just kept winning. And then we was up here like, he's not that good anyway. then you would have a great argument. That's what you do with Jordan. You hate this man because he won 6 years. You act like he only played for 6 years. He dominated 6 years. It didn't take him 7 games and a miracle and an injury here and an injury there and a whole bunch of this, that, and the third and chicanery. It didn't take the dude getting suspended and all this other stuff. Dude was just dominant. He was a dominant individual player, and then he became a dominant team player. I've never seen LeBron just dominant on both ends and miss me with this whole defense. I'm going to do a whole separate video on that because that's a lie. The dude, I watched him. I watched him from a fan's standpoint, not from a hater standpoint like y'all try to say about me now. I actually watched him. I am still a Miami Heat fan. I love the Miami Heat. I watched him with Cleveland. I've watched him since the day he got drafted. I followed this man's career. I actually was rooting for the guy for the longest. And he just kept why I stopped being a fan with him is when I saw him come to Miami and finally get help. And I was actually excited for him. I was like, oh, this man is finally going to do it. They say he make his teammates better and all that. Let's see what he does. And he let me down. I watched him not play defense. And yet they still was acting like this dude was this impeccable defender. I watched him argue with referees. I watched it in real time. Every single year, I watched this man do the same bullshit he doing right now on the Lakers, where he does not get back on defense. He did it in Miami too. So it's not like, oh, he's conserving his energy. That's why I look at them and I laugh. Because I'm like, I could pull up footage of him in his prime. In Miami. He wasn't that great defender when he was in Cleveland before he went to Miami. But for some reason, because he had Shane Battier, who was a great defender, and Dwayne Wade, who was a great defender, when he had actually great defenders surrounding on both teams. In Cleveland, he had great defenders surrounding him. In Miami. But because he had such great defenders surrounding him, it made him look better than what he was. So how was Jason Terry able to cook him? If he shut down Derrick Rose, who's better than Jason Terry, then why Jason Terry was cooking him? Why he ain't guard? If he can guard 1 through 5, why he ain't guard Dirk Nowitzki? These are questions that we ask. And y'all try to tell us this is the best ever that no one wants to see for some reason. This is what I mean by the NBA is dead. Because you sit here and you're selling us bullcrap. When you have an actual great product, it's like Madden. Every single year they try to tell us this is the best Madden ever. We're going to change this and change that and change this and improve this and with new technology to do this. And the players' bones are even better. And they tell you all these wonderful things they're going to do. We're going to improve franchise mode. And then you get the game and it's nothing what they sold you. That's what I feel about LeBron in this NBA. You selling us bullshit. You don't have anybody to, it's like They lack any competition. They lack that drive that they once had. It's all about selling us narrative and stories. Y'all so desperate that you're trying to sell us that we're watching that history is being made. And that's why we need to tune into the NBA, because LeBron James is the first player in NBA history to play with his son on the same team. And it didn't help your ratings. It ain't helped save the league not one bit. Yet y'all, he deserves this because what he's done for the league. He's pissed people off. He's turned people away from the league. He's done the exact opposite of what these analysts and past players are trying to tell us. Y'all sit here lying to our faces just like EA Sports does and 2K and all these gaming companies. All these guys do is lie. Just like P. Diddy sold you this image and lied to you. R. Kelly sold you this image and lied to you. It's so many liars out there selling you an image and selling you a Fugazi product and trying to convince you that it's something that it's not. And people are not buying into it. People are sick of it. That's why people watch my channel. That's why people watch channels like Uncommon Sense. That's why they watch our channels, because we keeping it funky. And people are sick of it. We're sick of the bull crap. Like I said, I've watched this dude not play defense. He would argue with the refs instead of getting back. This is in Miami. This is your Miami years. 2011, 2012, 2013, and 2014. He has done this. Go back and watch. I challenge you. Prove me wrong. Sure. If you really want to challenge me on that, in the comment section, go ahead. If you really want to challenge me, I'll go there and pull out the footage. Because I never got up on this platform and lie and say I have some information that I don't. I watched it live. I watched it. I watched Jason Terry cook him. I watched this. I watched him. It used to irritate me to no ends. That's why I stopped being a LeBron fan. Because when I kept watching him, I kept seeing the antics getting worse and worse and worse. This is nothing new. Nothing he's doing now is brand new. He been lowering his shoulders. He been not getting back on defense. He been doing this. He been playing free safety. Go back and watch the tapes. It's just even worse now because he's older. And they can use that as an excuse. But he's been doing this. All these players are lazy. All these players are ungrateful for their position. They care more about their individual brands and politics and getting into this and trying to build that up more than about the NBA product. Building up the NBA, you have to get out of the me mentality and think about the we. And think about the us. And think about the future generations. The future guys that are going to come into the league and play. And setting the example and raising the bar for them. He should have raised the bar from where Michael Jordan had it. Or at least kept it right there. Matched it. Kobe did. It's not impossible. Kobe went out there and gave his all. If he could play, he played. That's what people want. People love Kobe because he represented everything of the old elk. He represented what basketball was supposed to be. He had his selfish ways about him. He's not perfect. No play. Jordan had his ways about him. He was not perfect. He got better. He started off with that Kobe mentality, that LeBron mentality when he first got in. Where he was more concerned. He wanted to help the team win, but he was going to do it by any means necessary. But he cared about winning. LeBron James don't care about winning. He cares about the image. He don't care about winning. It's extra credit for him. But anyway, tell me your thoughts in the comment section. Like, subscribe. And if you really enjoy my content, share it.